Hello and welcome to another video from the Mindset Peacocking channel, where I aim to empower, enrich and energise your life. In this video I want to share with you why you should master just one skill. For most of my life I've been a fighter, from being a small child in the playground, tumbling round, to then studying martial arts and joining the military. I've always been fighting and I love it. I love the mental aspect of training and always pushing forward to achieve the best outcome. When I was about 22, I made a decision to take my fighting to the next level and enter the competitive world of mixed martial arts. I knew that I wanted to compete and I thought I was going into the sport and I was going to take over. After all, I had a background of success in fighting, right? Why would this be any different? I remember being very nervous though as I walked through the doors of the gym, and I was met by this genuine mountain of a guy. As he greeted me, he reached out his hand and I remember that it literally encompassed mine. And the grip he had was one of confidence and strength. He ended up being not only just a great friend, but also being my coach. Anyway, I signed all the relevant paperwork, paid my fee, and I was ready to get training. The very next day I arrived at about 5:45, 15 minutes before the class started, as I wanted to make a good impression and work out all the processes. There were maybe 15 guys and they were all shapes and sizes, all dressed in like proper shorts with rash guards and mouth guards in. And I must have to right plonker because I turned up in a pair of old shorts and a knackered t-shirt, and I was definitely stood out as the new guy. After a few introductions though, it was straight into the warm-up and kind of all that went. We were doing sprints and rolls and sprawls and all sorts of warming up and stretching manoeuvres. And I'm not afraid to admit it now, that warm-up was tough. And I genuinely thought I'd bitten off more than I could chew. However, I wasn't willing to give in. The mind is stronger than you know, and you can push it way beyond you believe. That's how humans in tough situations can pull off incredible feats of strength, like lifting a car off a trapped person. And trust me, it does happen. Anyway, we started going through some drills, and it was the takedown, which is how you take someone from standing to the ground in a controlled manner so you can still be the dominant fighter. We did this over and over again, to the point I was getting a little frustrated. I was starting to think that maybe I'd signed up to the wrong class. After about an hour, we were told to do some sparring. Bear in mind, at this point, I was absolutely shattered. I got paired up with this tiny guy, right, and I thought to myself, this is going to be really easy. But let me tell you, that guy ran rings around me and made me learn a very important lesson right there and then. Never judge someone's ability by the way they look. People will surprise you every time. After we finished it, there was all hugs around and everyone was so welcoming, it was incredible. I think I passed their test. I attended the next day and was sore as hell, yet I was committed. Again, we got to it straight into the same takedown drill. I was a little shocked by this, as I was there to learn everything, right? Not just the one thing. I got through the session though, and this time I fared a little bit better than the day before. However, was a little frustrated at the fact that we'd just drilled the same thing again. This continued during every session. The same takedown drill. We did this over and over and over again. Other techniques were drilled as well, however the session's main emphasis was on drilling the takedown move. After about a month of this, I had to ask what was happening, because I was starting to think I should have looked somewhere else to go and train. When I asked the teacher, the sensei, he said, jump on the mats, and I thought, oh god, I'm going to take a whooping here. He said to me, just do what you've practiced. And with that, he came charging at me like a rhino, like a charging enemy. Before I knew it, I'd taken him to the ground and I was in a dominant position. Like, this was a monster of a guy and I was on top of him. I was gobsmacked. As I helped him up, he said this to me: we train one thing, that's how we get goodness out of you. I hadn't understood that he'd been building these incredible foundations. If we'd gone from one thing to the next and then to the next and so on, I would have never been able to master any techniques and create muscle memory. By repetitively training and mastering that one thing, my body started to create a muscle memory, to the point where I didn't even have to think about the move, my body just did it. Fast forward a year and I'm preparing for my first semi-professional cage fight, and honestly, I wasn't nervous at all. I was actually excited. I was set to fight a formidable opponent. He was coming from a fighting background too. I didn't know much about him at all. I'd just seen that he was a big guy. There was a lot of hype around him as well. Not to worry, I got into the ring. I had a few friends there to support me and they were cheering me on. He entered the ring and I just saw him and thought, blimey heck, he's actually a really big guy. All I knew that he was a heavy hitter. The referee gave his own rules, we returned to our corners and my coach said to me, just remember what we trained. We both moved into the middle of the cage and he took a huge swing towards me. I don't remember what happened next as my body just took over, but I lifted him high in the air and slammed him down. My body had reacted to the situation and that one move I had drilled and drilled just happened. For 3 grueling rounds we battled and my life, what a fighter he actually was. He hit like a steam train. However, that one technique kept seeing me right. Eventually, my hand was lifted and I was awarded the unanimous decision. The feeling that I had at that moment was incredible. I had won against all the odds, and it was all thanks to having practiced that one move repetitively. Since that time in my life, I've really respected the process of mastering one skill before you move on to the next. It's what I'm doing right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm mastering one skill. So if you want to do something well and want to get your hand raised because you've won, I suggest that you don't compromise with the second best and just master one skill at a time. It's said that if you spend 5 years mastering one skill and spend 4 hours a day learning it, then you will become a world-class practitioner at it. Meaning that if you take a massive action today, you will be able to be a world leader in whatever it is you want to study. The other lesson I want you to take from this is that skills and experience take time. Please don't expect something to start and then just become an overnight success. It takes time and effort. Just like me making these videos, I don't expect to be an overnight success. However, I will be a success because I will constantly practice and master the skill. And so can you. If you want to have success in any area of your life, there are 2 things that I want you to do right now. Number 1, take action. Stop procrastinating and just do it. And there's only one thing better than taking action, and that's taking massive action. Secondly, never give up. Be prepared to adapt however hard it gets. Never give up. Each and every one of you has greatness in you. You just need to let that greatness out. If I can, so can you. So remember, be daring, be you, be all you can be. Be the person who masters that one skill and never gives up. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is the mindset peacocking way. Hey, thanks so much for watching my video and I truly hope you got something from it. If you did and would like to see more, please press that subscribe button. If you would like to comment and like the video, that would too be incredible. Thanks again, and until next time, please stay empowered, enriched and energized because you are awesome.